Bam! What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building. StreamYard trying to stop me, but I ain't gonna let that happen. What is good? What is good? What is good? Y'all, welcome in. BY's PoliSports Tea Time Live. Y'all know what it is. We sip slow and talk bold about moves, money, politics, behind the game you love. Hey, today's cup, hot. It's hot. We coming in a little early because we got Gamecocks basketball coming up a little bit later. So I'm gonna be back up at 5:30 for Gamecocks hoops. So we wanted to make sure that we had this conversation. Lil, what's going on? We ain't talked in a minute. But we back on schedule. We got y'all. We coming at y'all, I believe, 2 times this week. We're gonna try to come at y'all 2 times this week. We got some stuff coming up. Political, thank you for your service. Absolutely. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, fam. To all the veterans out there, thank you for your service. Political Lil, for sure to you, thank you for your service. It has been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure to be up doing these conversations with you. I appreciate your time, your energy, your effort into this. So thank you for your service as a veteran and just to this conversation that we continue to have over these weeks. I so appreciate you, fam.
All right.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because look, we ain't got a lot of time, but we're gonna get into it because the WNBA is deep in high stakes fight on this 2025 collective bargaining agreement. They didn't have to give out extra 30 days. There's a lot of stuff going on, Lil. It ain't just contracts on the line. We got power, we got equity, we got ownership, players, league, leadership, owners. They in a chess match. Every move is studied like it's game film. They breaking down film on this thing, Lil. They breaking down film. This is where it started to shake up. Now we got the WNBA Vice President, Napheesa Collier, came out swinging. Y'all remember she came out that paperwork, popping that paper. Don't make me pop that paper on y'all. Okay, y'all know what that means. She called out WNBA President Kathy Engelbert for what players are labeling sharecropping model of ownership. I don't know if the players is labeling it that, but we definitely calling it that. I think I heard it here first, called sharecropping. But here we go. Sharecropping model of ownership. That's not shade. That's a historical accusation. Okay? That's a historical accusation. Collier went beyond the timeline. She pulled in the Congressional Women's Caucus, over 70 legislators to demand good faith negotiations. That's not just about game. That's a movement. And boom, Nneka Ogwumike throws gasoline on the fire. And we didn't see this coming. We didn't see this coming from anywhere.
No.
Nneka Ogwumike comes in here. She work breaks. She's signing with a whole nother professional league in Asia and Europe. And it may or may not be funded by the Saudis. Because I saw a statement come out from Project B yesterday saying they don't have no Saudi money. So it's interesting to see where the actual money is coming from. Y'all hit the like and the share. They both right there. But that ain't just a career move. That's a pressure point. That says if y'all won't pay us fairly here, somebody else will. That's global leverage. That's wrapped in a warning shot. That 30-day extension, that's looking like a peace offering. But it may be more like a ticking clock toward a lockout or a courtroom showdown. And then you just told me on our way up here, Alyssa Thomas is now part of Project B.
That's right. that might be LeBron parting the money. That might be Carter thing.
It's interesting. Now, y'all know I don't do this alone. When the conversation goes from politics in the game to the politics around it, this one voice I trust. The strategist behind BY's PoliSports podcast, the one who connects Capitol Hill to the court side, never pulls a punch. Political Lil. Break down for the people what's really going on behind this so-called CBA chess match and who's truly holding the cards.
Look, let's just cut to the chase. I don't think it's about paychecks at this point. It's about power and control. And so between Napheesa and Nneka making these kind of strategic maneuvers, it's growing some pressure on Adam Silver, especially after he made a public refusal to share the revenue. The players and the leagues, this is a high stakes battle. It's a generational battle. You better believe this is going to define women's basketball for the next few decades. So it is a high stakes battle. And in the first segment, we're going to break down these opening power moves. Collier's revelation. Then you got political letters, the 30-day extension. But I understand the extension. Well, next, I think it's on the 23rd. They doing the, who going to get the draft order, who going to get the first, 4 or 5 picks. And so I think that's one reason they did the extension was to get that event in. And so we got to look at what these signals mean for a possible strike, lockout, or court battle. I still am going with strike and sue. I think the players are gonna strike, then sue, and I think it's gonna end in a CBA after a court battle. So that's kind of what we're gonna get down with today. I can't hear you.
Oh, now you just went out. Okay, I see StreamYard trying to be StreamYard being crazy. But
They're trying to be extreme.
You got me now. They don't like what we're saying, but I'm gonna start again. So what I was saying is that this ain't about the bonuses or the salary caps, right? This is about control. Who defines the future of women's basketball? Owners or players, and so where does that leave us at, right? And so we had the Congressional Women's Caucus, we had the 70+ lawmakers. New York City mayor stepped in. They asked for the good faith talks. We had this political earthquake happen, but since this is a battle for power, when this went from a private negotiation to a national political issue, what is this saying about the level of mistrust between the players and the league leadership?
The relationship to me it's a complete breakdown. I don't especially after the field came out, busted out the commissioner. It's just that everybody done drew their little line in the sand. Once you go on public TV like that, on the Today Show, one of the most popular shows out there, and stand up as a white man and practically say, I'm not giving you ninjas a dime. It's nowhere to negotiate. They don't have no way to start the negotiations because you done already killed the first point. Because the first point is the BRI, and the percentage. And you saying, let's not even discuss that. We're not putting no revenue on the table, but the product is generating the revenue. So, I don't know. I know the players. I don't think the players are talking. The player representatives of the union are talking at all. It's no more talk, like Willie D say. It's just no more talk to be talked. I think the best maneuver is to go ahead and drop a lawsuit and let it play out in the court, because the owners are stuck in a plantation model. They want to keep doing sharecropping because it's very lucrative. And then, the players not willing to work on the plantation no more. That sharecropping wages. So it's a stalemate. That's kind of where they at.
So I think what's throwing me off is, Adam, why do you even have the right to say where we start and what we give and what we doing? Because when you look at the WNBA and how it's laid out, you don't appear to be a part of this. So I just thought that was just like an overstep in a way, right?
Well, now Adam Silver is actually the NBA is violating the law. It's really going to turn out to be an antitrust issue, because you're not supposed to have an entity having that much control over somebody's paycheck, this, that, and that. You got to remember that these young ladies are still employees. Mm-hmm. And you can and the NBA has too much control. I'm not saying they shouldn't be a part of the NBA, but they should not have controlling interest. And I believe that the Department of Justice depending on how the women caucus roll, I think they're gonna roll an investigation out, and that's when Adam Silver and the NBA is gonna be exposed because they I think it's the Sherman Antitrust Act. You cannot stop trade and commerce from going on. And they have done that for the last 27 years. Remember when Don Staley said that women's basketball had been deliberately held back?
Mm-hmm.
That's an antitrust violation, and since the other leagues had no way of selling, like Major League Baseball, they had to go to court to get their little reserve clause out, and
right.
The little ladies from the soccer league, they had to go sue their league. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Adam them not budging. They not gonna budge. They're not gonna sit down and negotiate no percentage. They just not gonna do it because they feel like they white, they right, and they don't have to. So the only move is to go ahead and challenge it in court. And that will mean that it probably won't be a season for the next 2 seasons because these court battles, take a long time. Now, he may, in fact, come to his senses. See, it depends on how much he really want to expose, because if he goes to court, all the books coming open, we going to see all the little memos, the he said, she said, why y'all putting y'all logo on the girls' logo and all. I mean, it's gonna be ugly, but some men are just that silly. They think because these women are black, the majority of them are black, and that they got Caitlyn, sitting in the pocket, and some others, they think it's gonna be a blowback. And that's his attitude, because you just don't run on national TV talking that kind of smack if you don't think if your lawyers have not convinced you that you ain't fighting against nothing. They went on TV like they have all of the leverage, and as we see things unfold, their leverage is not looking kind of shaky. So yeah, that's I think it's gonna be a full work stoppage.
Okay, let me see what y'all talking about in this chat. You think that Nola? You say you think the WNBA leadership will cave? It's too much money to be made. The players not backing up. We're gonna see. I don't play with black women. The principles is different. I hope the W get everything they deserve. They have improved the product over the years. Vibing with Ty. What's up, fam? Jeremy was good. 85 Fly was happening. Miss D. Tay D was good. Women have options as always, and now you have new leagues in North America that are offering these players what they deserve. Former players who are invested in these leagues to help the new breed. We're gonna see. Because at some point it becomes oversaturated, and then the talent is too dispersed anyway, right? So we got to find a balance of what this is really supposed to look like. For those of y'all that's watching, do y'all believe the players are finally in a position to call the league's bluff? Because Lil, do you think this 30-day extension is a cooling off period, or is this just a countdown to the strike or the lockout if they're not gonna give ground?
I think the only reason for the extension was to get these draft activities going. Because you still got people paying their money to get in the league, that you got to worry about. Then you got to these people don't put up this $2.2 billion and they want to see some ladies running up and down the court. So you don't want to have to turn around and give people their money back, or this, that, and the other. So it looked like both. I mean, the league asked for the extension, and the Players Association granted them the extension. They didn't have to, but you have to kind of, you don't want to be looking like you the a-hole. You want to look like
right.
Negotiating.
Working. Absolutely.
And so the position of the WNBA is to look like they moving on with activities, getting the draft, the positions together, and then going on with the supplement, because they'll probably do another extension to get the supplemental draft going and this, that, and the other. But they're not. These players have to check in their mind they're not giving you nothing. That's firm. So you don't have a negotiation position. So you have to secure your living.
Absolutely.
You know, you either gonna fold and go ahead with the sharecropping model and ruin it for the ladies that's coming behind you, or you're gonna stand your ground until this thing dissipates. I believe if it goes to court, I believe that the courts will detach the NBA from the WNBA. That's what I believe the ultimate outcome is going to be, because I can't see, you got to understand that, sports industry is still a market, and I can't see them wanting to lose a market to Europe, Asia, or any place else. You got the best talent pool. You don't start diluting your product, because these ladies dispersing the upshot and this, that, and the other. You're gonna have a diluted talent pool.
Yeah, oh, exactly.
And then you still got, Reese ain't said nothing, and Nescu, these people not making commitments to, committing to different things. They may be holding that pocket, because if they decide to strike, they got to break out and play someplace else. So it's a lot going on, but the players are in a no-win situation. They still got to eat. The WNBA brass, they gonna continue their lobsters and continue eating. And
well, I think the players make moves to eat. You saw players not necessarily go back to Unrivaled, and maybe they went back internationally so that they could secure a bigger bag. So if the season doesn't go on, that they could play a longer time. You saw some new people coming to Unrivaled. You got Upshot starting off. You got Project B coming up. You got all this stuff going on. You got WBL going on. You got AU Double Down in Nashville. So and I see Nola, you saying right now I expect the WNBA leadership to give everything to Asia. They really need her to keep people interested in the WNBA. Watch the shift. We're gonna see. I don't think that the WNBA respects Asia's motion enough to give her everything.
Nah, they ain't gonna give her nothing. Let me tell you,
I don't think that the WNBA leadership respects her at all.
Not at all.
Like Kathy told y'all, the only time that she talks to Asia is when she gives her an award. Think about that. Think about that. This is the best player in the world. This is the best player in your league, and you don't sit down. You guys don't have conversation. You've never sat down and had a conversation with Asia Wilson, other than we got to stop meeting like this when I'm handing you the awards.
And you think about it, yeah.
Do y'all think Adam Silver doesn't sit down and talk with LeBron?
He do. LeBron, Durant, Curry.
You think he don't? They talk to them. What's my man? I was going to say Paul Tagliabue because he's on my brain because he just passed. What is my man's name in the NFL? Goodell. You think Goodell don't talk to Mahomes and them?
Yeah. I mean, that was the purpose of Silver getting a female commissioner. You know, and then you Kathy Ingberg, and you ain't talking to nobody. You're not talking to the best players in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and then let's talk about the move to shift the game. Nneka Ogwumike, now she the president of the players union. She the one that's at the table to do the negotiations. She just said, hey, I'm going to help fund the new women's basketball league over here, backed maybe by Saudi investors. I'm not sure. I've seen reports that they're not. With teams in Asia and Europe. That's not a coincidence. It's strategy. Timing, it came right after the unrivaled 2026 roster reveal, right in the middle of these stall talks. That's design pressure. If y'all won't pay us here, we're going to find somebody who will. That's adding to the leverage that they have already. Because the moment the players have another market, another paycheck, global visibility, WNBA owners lose their favorite weapon, and that's the control. Some of these leagues have TV deals. Now, Upshot, I don't think has locked in a TV deal yet.
They got a streaming deal.
They're going to be streaming somewhere.
They got a regional streaming deal already in place.
So what I don't understand is how these people don't just come talk to YouTube directly and stream all over the place with YouTube. It's global. Figure it out. Like if you have a YouTube channel, build up your following. But what's the real message here though? Because this feels less like negotiation and it's a shift in the power. So does Ogwumike's move tell us what does it tell us about the player's mindset right now? Is this about leverage? Are they building a true backup plan for financial independence? Is everybody, jumping ship and saying, "Let me take care of me"? Like, what do you think? What does this look like? Nneka's move.
You know what? I don't think it's like. I think that the strategy is that they don't expect to play in 2026. Okay. Number two, I think that the players have been told or understand that we taking this all the way to a court battle if necessary. It signals to me it's not going to be a back down, and they're letting the brass of the WNBA and the NBA know that this ain't going to be no. See, what was the commissioner before Silver?
David Stern.
David Stern cussed them out the last time they was in a CBA talking about what they wasn't gonna do. He was the kind of redneck that shut this shit, that type of dude. And they better get the moving and blah 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 blah. Now Silver comes off as a little more negotiable, like he's not gonna put his foot down, but he done already played his hand. They made up their mind that they'll bump up the salaries, your hourly wages. They'll bump that up, but they not giving you no revenue share. And I really don't understand that position. I just think it's so outdated at this point. You have to move with the times. You got, these girls not coming in here looking for a good paycheck now. You got people coming into this thing, multimillionaires, and they want to play because they want to play the top level talent. But for you to not make that a priority to try to bump up, from 3%, because they only getting 3% of the revenue, to get in at least the 30, 40, and I would say 40% range. I just think you're shooting yourself in the foot, or you just think you're dealing with some people that don't know what they're doing, not intelligent enough to battle your power structure. And I think that attitude, once the public and the fans kind of turn against that, or kind of sours with them, because right now they got a lot of men, they don't need no pay bump, but once that fall off, they're going to be in trouble. As far as the bargaining position, the way I see it.
Okay, so do you think Adam Silver going on national TV and drawing that line in the sand, do you think that's really just a PR move to control narrative, or is it a pressure tactic to really try to divide player support?
I think it's to control. Well, it could be a little bit of both. It looked like a kind of a crisis management or divide and conquer strategy at the same time. But Silver, he playing like the long game. He trying to shape the public perception of either the $2.5 million fans, that they got the upside. And, he's signaling to the ownership and sponsors that the league is in control while quietly trying to fracture the players' unity. So it's not just about what he kind of said on the camera. It's about creating doubts, behind the scene. He making the players kind of question how far they really willing to go. But when you do that, and then Nneka come out and paychecks flying, because find out who behind this project be. But when you're talking about somebody paying you $2 million as opposed to somebody paying you $250,000, look, let me tell you something. Adam them gonna find out the long game ain't gonna last long, because I don't think it's a player. I think you can go all the way to the high school level and ask a player which deal they'll take, and they'll take that $2 million all day long. I'll take the $2 million. I'll take the ownership. I'll take being a partner. I'll take the equity. It's
the one thing about Project B though is, where is it at? Do you want to be in Europe? Do you want to be in Europe and Asia playing basketball? That's the thing that the WNBA holds. So if their thing is that they playing in Europe and Asia, and you want to play in the U.S., where do you balance that out at?
Well, you got to think about
that was the whole point. They can make $1 million now, right now, going to these other leagues. So,
but you got to think about this too. A lot of everything's kind of predicated on the top tier players. So these top tier players are already traveling internationally. They're already playing USA basketball, which is international. They're not, you're not going to some Timbuktu. You know what I mean? Out of the way. And another thing, if you're young and you don't have a family, you really don't have anything, kind of holding you back.
I can see that 5-10 years ago in this political climate, though. In this political climate, you can't get back.
You know what? You can't let that be held over your head. If you're trying to play the long game. The bottom line is it will take you 10 years at $250,000 a year to make what you can make in 1 year. You're gonna tell me you don't want to sacrifice 1 year to go? And Asia got some of the most beautiful. Asia is we got allies in Asia. I wouldn't worry about that. We got allies in Europe. They're not playing in Saudi.
With the way 47 is moving, I don't know who our allies is. Like I keep telling y'all, I don't know who's showing up in 2028. You understand what I'm saying? When I say that, I mean that. There were some young ladies that were supposed to go play basketball in Germany just last week, and they couldn't go because the government was shut down and the political what was going on just here, being worried about how they would be treated because of how. Really?
I don't think it's the treatment outside. What they need to worry about with 47, because his goal is to control all major markets. Now he might put some stipulations on, and then he might put pressure on if that money is not here. That's the thing. We don't really know if that money is in Saudi. We don't know if the money is here.
Then people are saying loud as they can, everywhere that they can, that it ain't no Saudi money. That man came out and said, ain't no Saudi money over here. Stop saying that about us.
Well, then, you don't really have a geopolitical potential crisis. But I think that 47 is going to demand that market not leave here. And once he puts his foot down, because see, Adam got to go up there and talk to Congress, or he either up there talking to Congress because he's already in a raggedy position with this gambling stuff. And once he get up on that hill and he looking at them 50, 60 women in the little caucus, and it's going to be settled, or we're going to make a phone call down here to the Department of Justice and we'll take your shit apart. It's just that simple. And so I believe eventually that's what's going to happen, because it's not just Silver making the call. These NBA owners that own these WNBA teams, they have a lot of influence, and a lot of them, I think it's 6 or 7 of them, got that 16%. Also, that gives the NBA the majority, where the WNBA can never, act as an autonomous organization. So the Department of Justice is there to break up and kill monopolies. That's their main purpose. And they are running a monopoly in a sense, and it seems like they've structured like a cartel, so it depends if these women in that caucus, because you got some fabulous lawyers on that caucus. If they want this to be a gender war, it's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be interesting going forward. So I'm liking a lawsuit route for the Title VII violations. I'm liking the union dissolving and going with the antitrust, which that's risky too. But these moves we see in these players make, especially these, and we don't know how many other veterans are gonna come out, going with it, whatever it is, I mean, think of the word Project B. That means the Project A ain't working. This Plan B, So I don't know. I just wish Silver hadn't have done that. That's not dealing in good faith. to go there and say you won't start at a point of revenue when this mechanism, the players are the product that's producing the revenue. I think, now if he had said we're not going to do anything on the profits, okay, I can respect that, because the players are not being paid from the profits, they being paid from revenue. But for you to walk in there and say, "I'll draw my line in the sand," he to me, he killed the negotiations, and he shouldn't have been speaking for the WNBA. No way, because you got a commissioner. She ain't said nothing else, I don't believe. He'd got us.
That's why I was wondering, why was you talking? We didn't even know you worked there. He the boss? See, then I started asking other questions.
That's what he put out. He the boss.
So you the boss. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So Kathy, what we talking to you for? Go get at him.
Exactly.
Go get at him.
The player's position.
Go get at him.
Yeah.
They should show up with shirts on to say you ain't moving shit, and on the back, because that's what Dana Evans hollered at AT. You ain't moving shit, right? Put that on the front and on the back. Go get at him. You ain't moving shit. Go get at him.
Mm-hmm.
Is Project B looking to take over, or they only play when WNBA season ends? They don't even play during the WNBA. Their thing, Project B's thing, is to run on the outside of the WNBA so that you can still play in the WNBA. So right. The Project B isn't even, Project B is like, still get your money. Now, who should be mad about Project B is Unrivaled, because Project B is impeding on their turf. Project Unrivaled was playing in the off season here. So now Unrivaled is looking like, man, we was offered $250,000 to these star players. Do we risk losing them? Alyssa Thomas, you're going to play at Project B. So are you leaving? Are you leaving Unrivaled? What does this mean?
Well, I thought Project B was starting at the end of November, and running till April.
And Unrivaled starts in January and runs till April.
I know, but you still got the same problem, because you got the Chinese league that starts at that same time, and stars go over there and play.
What I'm talking about is the 36 stars that you gave equity to. Now I'm looking at, are they now leaving Unrivaled? Is Project B about the takedown of Unrivaled? Alyssa Thomas, now you are an Unrivaled equity owner, one of the originals. Now you signed with Project B, so you're not playing in Unrivaled anymore. We won't see you in an Unrivaled next season. Correct?
You know what though, Cess, I don't think that Unrivaled was designed as a permanent I'm gonna play every year. I don't think that was part of the equity equation, because the bottom line is you got when they went and did that NIL deal with the top Division I players, I think Unrivaled gonna be more for a young developmental league. I think many of the veterans that's in the WNBA would opt to play in a league like Project B.
If I'm a young player, I think the young players, especially the ones that's trying to get stick on the team, need to play in a 5-on-5 league like AU or Project B. To me, the older people should be playing in 3-on-3 basketball. You started this with 36 of the oldest people in the league. You wanted them, the people you rewarded the people that went overseas and played basketball. So that's why the whole thing, I'm looking at the whole thing now, like, really, what? So everybody came to be at Unrivaled because you was tired of going overseas. You didn't want to do that no more. Thank God I can be at home for Thanksgiving. And next year, everybody going out. Out the country for New Year, for New Year's and Thanksgiving. What are we talking about? So I'm just looking at all of this. Like, what is the ultimate goal here? What is the ultimate goal here? The WNBA doesn't lose by Project B launching, because they players will come right back. The people who should be mad about that is like Unrivaled, Athletes Unlimited, China, Australia, all of those places where these players are going and playing. Now I don't need to make $1 million over there. I can make $2 million over here. WNBA sitting pretty. Project B don't hurt them with their running time. Upshot hurts them with their running time, because Upshot said we're coming to start right. We coming to start right when y'all start.
I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. Because like I said, the concept of 3-on-3 is really to develop. A lot of your older players, whatever game they got, is pretty much already uh, solidified in their latter years. I'm talking about players that are in the 7 to maybe 10-year range. And then your equity stake was not given to you predicated on you playing. That's just
Well, I don't think that everybody. I don't think that every year everybody gets equity. They said that the
no.
original.
I think it was just the original. Yeah, the
right.
original 36.
But what I noticed about this season is they filled in the holes where people left. Most of those people still came. So if my goal is to continue to expand, which is what Unrivaled said that they was gonna do. Matter of fact, because they had extra money this year, they dropped 2 more teams, and they were supposed to be dropping 2 more teams next year. They want to go to Philadelphia. They said they want to be in 4 cities. So if their goal is expansion, it's not to have the main stars leaving. And if people are coming here to see the Angel Reeses and the Stewies and all of them, when they go to Project B, who we coming here to see?
Yeah, but Project, well, how many of us going to Europe or Asia?
I'm talking about when we streaming. I'm talking about the direct competition that Unrivaled is in now. That's what I'm talking about. Now, do I want to turn on to see Alyssa Thomas and whoever else over there, Nneka them over there hooping at Project B? Or do I want to see the younger players that's coming in the league at Unrivaled? I don't know.
Well, I just don't. I don't know. I don't see the conflict, and I don't believe that it was done, without Stewie and both of them, everybody on the committee. But I'm sure that was discussed, talked about, and I just see Unrivaled plan as a little different in terms of moving toward the youth.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, Unrivaled season is during March Madness, so most college players are still playing college basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you got good influx of I mean these rookie classes just getting better and better. I think we kind of got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because a lot of these rookies ain't even sticking in the WNBA. So when I'm looking at what AU set up and the way that the people are going over there and playing in the 5-on-5 league, and they got WNBA people coming over there, and is it better for you to showcase your talent in a 5v5 or 3v3 if you're trying to get a job in a 5v5 league? I don't know. I guess we'll see how it play out.
Well, you know what? You gotta look at the purpose of 3-on-3 full court. When that was created by John B. McLendon, it was strictly to develop players. It wasn't the entertaining value.
Oh no, I know it's X-ray, and I know you get exposed, and it shows your game. But the question, my question still is, and this is the conversation that we had, because I was giving Unrivaled a whole lot of credit for developing players, but was that Unrivaled that developed those players, or did those players develop their game? And it didn't matter where they were going to be, they were going to develop, because that's who they are. So I don't know that it was just Unrivaled that had them coming back playing better. Like I'm not going to say Angel Reese isn't the Angel Reese that she was this season if she didn't play Unrivaled. I can't say that. Right, I can't say that. I can't say that she doesn't get that same development if she went and played international, if she played AU basketball. Like, I have to really step back and be like, yo, Unrivaled was really fun. They had some really good resources, but am I giving them too much credit for the development of those players? How much of that work was just, hey, no matter where I'm at, this is who I am, and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna be better the next time you see me. So what's gonna tell me is when Angel comes back this year, Angel is going to be more developed than she was. She's going to be further along in her development than she was when she left at the end of this season. And it won't be because of Unrivaled, because she's not playing Unrivaled. She's going to come back even more developed like she did this season. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Unrivaled is cool, but at the same time, you only going to get out of it what you put into it as far as development, no matter where you are. So when you're thinking about the WNBA, I don't know. The WNBA need a G League. Well, that's what Upshot is trying to be. So if you go look at what the upshot layout is Nola, it's they want to get it's an upshot. It's everybody's upshot at getting into the league, right? So it's GMs, it's coaches, it's trainers, it's players. You're supposed to be able. They want to build a career path to the WNBA. Now, I don't know if the WNBA want to marry them, Lil, because the WNBA didn't reach back out like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just weird. The WNBA look up and they could be a thing of the past. The WNBA, that was never my favorite league. I was an ABL fan. I was a fan of the ABL. I liked the game. I liked the teams. I liked the way they played. I liked the style of ball. But they didn't have the stars, and so they had to fold.
Well, I think that the reason why the NBA created the WNBA was to control the market. You know, allowing them to swallow up the ABL before it took hold. Mm-hmm. You know, before it blew up, then they came, you know, and disrupted it because they want to, you know, control it all. You know, kind of gonna have to, you know, see how it plays out. You know, far as
it's so many different factors in there. It's so many different factors. What I thought it would be cool for Unrivaled to do was for Unrivaled to have kind of run 2 seasons, and so you have a season where you have your Unrivaled as it originally started, and then in the college players off season, you have a younger 3-on-3 league as well. I thought they could just do 2 leagues.
Well, we gonna see because
we got overtime. We got overtime select out there. We got Atlanta Entertainment Basketball League out there. We got Upshot. We got WBL. We got and these are all just leagues that I'm talking about within the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even talking about no international, Eurobasket, none of that. Let's see. WNBA need a G League. Can AU become the G League? Unrivaled gonna need to up their pay. Does Unrivaled need to up their pay before the WNBA up their pay?
They already paying more
marketability. See, here's the thing. Not playing in the States, don't think Angel Reese will go overseas. I don't think Angel's were required to go overseas. Like I don't think her bag requires her to go overseas. Like, you know, her branding keeps her here. But listen, can they hurt marketability in the States? I guess. Everything will be a challenge to it.
We're gonna find out a lot because I don't think the Project B, I don't think they're kicking off to 2026. So that's gonna give Unrivaled and the China League and a few more, of these emerging leagues, a chance for things to kind of play out. It's like I don't think that it's so much supply that is ruining the demand. I think the demand has increased, and people want to see basketball, and I think it, beyond the cities that the WNBA play in, I think Upshot is going to do well, because of where they are.
These ladies are screaming, I'm more than just basketball. So I'm wondering, hey, if I can get $250,000 for 10 weeks and then I can go model or whatever else it is I'm going to do, be a scientist, be an engineer, whatever else it is I'm going to do with my brand, right? Maybe I will. Maybe I don't want to grind it out all year. Maybe I don't want to 9-10 months when I can catch $250,000 right here and then go, model for $3, $4, $5 million for the rest of the year. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, I don't think that, and then again, some of these young people coming up, shit, Flauze said she didn't even know she could be in there was a WNBA until late in her career. My lady don't even seem like she watches the WNBA. So the nostalgia, for the nostalgia's sake that we have with the WNBA, these young people ain't tied to it like that. They like, man, get the bag here, there, whatever. So, it'll be interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting negotiation because it's such a big labor fight. This labor fight matters, and it doesn't matter just for women. It doesn't matter just for basketball. It matters for other industries, right? This is gonna set a precedent for how we shape the future of equity and business ownership and employee and employer relationships.
Yeah, it's big changes coming. I mean, the bottom line is the labor has finally woke up and realized their value. And so I think that we're going to have one of the biggest structural changes in the next 5 to 10 years that we've ever seen in the labor market.
When the negotiations stop, the litigation starts. When the negotiations stop, the litigation starts. That's just it. So they're going to have to take this fight from the boardroom to the courtroom. So antitrust suits, Title VII claims, a full union restructure. By the time they get ready to do that, people might be like, man, I ain't got time. I ain't worried about your WNBA. I done played 2 seasons in a rival and went over to China or did, Project B. And Maverick Carter took his money away from the Saudi thing to do his own WNBA thing. So it could be a league LeBron or something out here. I don't know. You hear me? But the WNBA, and the last time, now Adam Silver got real, not Adam, David got real testy with the people. They had negotiated, and then they had just got the CBA, and then COVID and all of that, and they were trying to finish things off, and they ended up in a bad deal, and they were like, well, if you guys strike, we could just fold the league. And it was like, damn, fold the league, and then where do we go? Fold the league now, and it's like, oh, man, so what? Fold the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a power shift right there.
You hear me? What, Nutty Professor? Go on, Cletus. Go on, Cletus. Hit me there, Cletus. Y'all remember in the movie? Yeah. Close the league then. Fold the league. Fold it up. Fold it up. Fold it up and see what happens. It continues to move. It continues to move. People want basketball now. The thing that I can't figure out, Leo, and I'm gonna just jump into this for a minute. This wasn't on the list, but this is what I can't figure out for the life of me. I'm looking at these. So there are only so many NBA-owned teams in the WNBA. Have you been able to find out what are the non-NBA-owned owners saying? What the hell are they saying? Would they be willing to just take these teams and start a smaller league and continue playing in the venues that they in?
You know what?
Would they be able to take their money and do something different? Now, we were having a conversation with the commission. She was talking about there's some trademark issues and stuff like that, right? But could they potentially, once the CBA and everything is over, nobody's under contract for this until we get a new agreement, right? Could you see these people maybe say, hey, okay, maybe we'll go be some owners somewhere else. So we figured this thing out. Let's take this infrastructure and do this with these people that we have. Could we see something like that, or you think that's kind of far off?
No, I don't think it's far off at all, because if you're not really, most of these independent owners, they like the Sky, they don't use the NBA
facility, right? Neither do the Dream. Right. So unless they make an agreement to play bigger games there. We've seen them do that, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying they're not tied to that contractually, and they could actually, I could see them going and joining somebody like Upshot.
Yeah, like we'll take our team and play someplace else.
Yeah, they playing in smaller, what they call secondary markets, and these arenas are about the same size as some of the size arenas that the Sky and the Dream are playing in. You still have a lot of 10,000 seat arenas that are not in major cities.
Or in cities where teams been taken away. Oakland,
yeah,
they ain't playing no sports there. That kind of stuff.
St. Louis got they had so many pro teams that they have stadiums they could convert.
Now, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I see a question here. How do things work if other players want to take a deal, or is it up to the union leadership? How do things work? So it's my understanding that every team has a union rep that is supposed to represent the
body
of, and they supposed to take back, they're their team's representative. So they supposed to take the concerns of their team back to the larger body, and then they make a decision, and then they're supposed to vote for the greater good of what their body want. Ain't that how it works when you represent the team? Is that how it works?
Yeah, union vote. But what in order for them to file an antitrust lawsuit, they would have to dissolve the union. See, that's the biggest risk. Because then if you dissolve the union, then everybody can make their own call, and you really don't know,
how people
will move, or how the WNBA would move to, under the table, to retain
certain talent.
Maybe your top talent. So it's just risky business all the way around. I would go with a Title VII lawsuit before I did an antitrust, lawsuit, because I think a Title VII lawsuit, you got obvious discriminatory policies and different things, that you could easily bargain through. Because, like I said, if you try to go the antitrust route, which I still think they'll do, you that's a big risk, in terms of you dissolving a union in order to pull that off. But that's what the NFL did, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's how they were able to get their package, So you have to talk to the entire body of ladies, and you have to do votes. I'm sure Zoom meetings going on and this, that, and the other, see how everybody feel and how everybody want to proceed. I think that the ladies are united, and I think they already have a direction that they're going to go in. Because it's like a move, a counter move, a move, a counter move. I mean, it's really fascinating, actually. I think it's going to be a big case study, somewhere down the line. But once you get the big guns involved, you start, hanging out with people like Kamala Harris and, and that women's caucus, then that's where you bring, potential gender war against these men in the, because the owners are all men. So it's definitely going to be a gender war battle, but I do think that I predict that the league will survive, but not intact and not attached the way they are to the NBA. I think eventually, legally, they can get the NBA out of the control position. Not you giving up all your money and this, that. I think they will always own a percentage, but I don't think it'll be a controlling interest. That they'll have once they kind of break. Once you go through the legal apparatus of breaking that up.
Okay.
So.
I'm also surprised that some of the minorities who've been denied ownership haven't come together to try to put something together.
Very shocking.
It's really weird to me.
Well, I think because the young man from Boston, I think because he's still kind of in the league, he kind of ain't gonna do too much stomping. I mean, you already see what happened to his partner Brown when he do any kind of stomping. You're looking at the Kyrie situation. So I don't think he want to buck the power structure, because he probably figures it's still a possibility that they can get in. Candace, I think had they been smart, Candace just so bulk, corporate bulk, they could have actually filed a lawsuit.
But then Candace jumped in the Project B.
Yeah, I'm just saying, they probably decided.
Candace like, I'm gonna get some ownership somewhere. Somebody I'm gonna own something. Damn it.
I'm
owning something. I'm owning something. Y'all gonna give me some ownership. That was just weird. I thought that we could have seen like a Jaylen Brown. What that was Jaylen? That was Jason Tatum. That was that was Jason Tatum in St. Louis. I think that was Nelly in St. Louis. That was Candace. Some other names that I'm forgetting.
Candace was in Tennessee.
Was in Tennessee. Somebody else was in Tennessee.
But they had other athletes from other leagues.
Other athletes. They had other business owners and stuff too that were interested. I'm no more. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. If the WNBA split the players, they will get the deal they want. Some players can't afford to sit out. concerned about that. Nah, not really concerned about that. No, look,
Mm.
most of these players. So here's the thing: the majority of the players that were in the league. Well, I'm not gonna say all of the players that were in the league. The WNBPA has been communicating with them. It has been their plan to opt out of the CBA agreement this entire time. So for the
Since
last
2023. Yeah.
2023. So they have been advising them to be in 1-year deals and deals where they weren't locked into teams by the time it was time to maybe step away from to opt out of the CBA. So most of them should have taken steps to make sure that they had money put up. A lot of them play overseas. And I mean, you got to remember, like, we love the WNBA, but like Candace Parker told y'all, that was her second job. Think about how you do your second job. You'll drop that mug in a minute if your first job give you the raise that you want. Because the only reason you work in that second job is because your first job ain't paying you everything you wanted to pay you. And what they wanted it to pay them was opportunity to play in the U.S. They got other opportunities to do that now. Shoot, that second job ain't looking like you got to have it no more. That second job just ain't looking like you got to have it no more. That's what I'm saying. Like, what does that look like? What does it look like?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something, Cess. Think about this. The NBA. Those young men come to play in that league because it's a top playing league, it's a top dollar league. But you got little leagues. I won't say little league, but you got other leagues that's willing to match, your pay. You're gonna have a hard time retaining, these very talented players, and so the WNBA should position itself. Now it's positioned as the top talent in the world, but you got to get to the top pay in the world too, in order to attract people to come to your league, from all over the globe, but they seem to think $5, $7.25 an hour is cool. I don't know. It's definitely a gender thing too.
Okay? So talk to me about the gender thing.
It's genderized capitalism.
Is this about men wanting to be in control of women?
Oh, absolutely. Not only wanting to be in control, but also wanting to pimp them. To exploit them, to extract value from them.
Sound, Lil. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, this must be a topic StreamYard. They don't want us talking about this. This ain't even the hottest thing. Stuff to talk about.
Capitalism was about extraction and control. And yes, these men want to control women, because if they didn't, they would did the abortion law. They look, we need more people, so we gotta stop having abortions. And it's mostly men that's making those decisions. And in this country, white men want control of everything. If you, like, I just did a project on looking at the WNBA over the 27 years and how much money they've extracted out of these women, how they haven't paid them for this, paid them for that, this, that, and the other. They just believe that women, should be barefoot in the kitchen, under control. Under control is the main thing. They want everything under control. It's unnatural to me that the NBA would want to control a woman's league the way they doing, and then the way they just extracting, money out of these women, and so callous about it, but that's how capitalism kind of works. Capitalism is about pure extraction of labor. And they consider these women, majority black, to be nothing but labor, just like they don't have no more consideration for these ladies than they had for when these ladies was on the plantation. That's just the bottom line. They don't care how much education you done got, or how you trying to move up in the corporate world, this, that, and the other. Because women wouldn't even be in the workforce if it wasn't for World War II. Not in the numbers they in. But no, Adam Silvers, I don't know if it's his ears. I don't know what it is about him, but that Today Show was so distasteful. Whew, I don't even know where to go from there. But no,
you know what it is. You know what it is. We so progressive. You know what it is. We so progressive, and I say this about both of us. And you especially as a veteran, and again on this Veteran Day, thank you for your service. Way more world travel than me, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you look at them, you go, oh, they still making them in 2025. I didn't even know they were still making that model. They still making that model. Oh man, hey, they still making them like that in 2025. Yeah. Like with all the places I've been, right, and all of the equity, the opportunities, the sharing, the collaboration, the beautiful way people build out, right? Like not to change the subject, but what's the young boy's name? Jaden Smith. He got the Love Restaurant, right? People said ain't gonna work. If you hungry, come eat. If you don't have no money, you don't have to pay. If you have money, you pay. You help pay for everything that's going on. Lying around the corner of people that are hungry and people that want to be able to give back. People want to collaborate. People want to be able to help people. Most people don't want to be in control of people. Most people don't want to monopolize people. Most people want everybody to just eat. That's the most thing. And that's cultural. That goes beyond color lines. If you go outside this world, if you go outside this country, that's how most other countries, even though the media wouldn't have you think like that, that's how most other places operate. Collaboration, working together,
collaborative, yeah.
Not nobody owning nobody, taking advantage of people all the time. Does that happen in places? Sure, but it happens. Collaboration and fairness happen on a much larger, wider scale than the media and this government would have you think. You got to open your minds up to that shit, man. It's enough money out here for everybody to eat. You got $1 billion for what? I don't know who that was. It was just on one of these award shows. Say, if you got $1 billion, help somebody. A billionaire not helping nobody for what?
Yeah. And can't take the money with you.
Ain't take the money with you. But it's about that control, Lil. It's about that control. But
that's
let's
it.
Keep it real. This 30-day extension ain't peace, y'all. Before we get ready to close out here. This is a countdown. When this clock hits 0, everything come due. Contracts, money, equity, the truth, the books, everything come due. Only question is, will the league rise to the moment? Or keep managing the message until the system cracks under its own weight? That's the question. I believe that these women are willing to stand 10 toes down for what it is they believe in. They're not a big group, but they're a mighty group. What is it, 156 of them?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody who ever donned a WNBA jersey should be standing with these women. Every fan who clap for these women should be standing with these women, supporting these women. At the end of the day, the fight is about power. Who owns the narrative? Who controls the capital? Who decides the future of women's basketball? Power don't just live in the boardrooms, though, y'all. We keep telling y'all it lives in the people, in fans, the ones buying the tickets, streaming the games, pushing these conversations to the spotlight. That's the movement. That's the leverage, y'all. That's the revolution happening in real time. What's up, Lisa Pugh? Man. It's headed into this geopolitical territory, Lil. You start talking about these global sports investors, media ownership, digital platforms. I want you to talk about what it means, because this is about, you were saying, who defines value in a world where visibility is the currency? So, This is going to set a precedent for how women's labor, black labor, collective power are treated across the global industry. 2026 is a countdown, not a deadline. Defining moment. How do we rise up for that, Lil?
Listen, as fans, we got to keep the pressure on. I mean, the bottom line is labor. It's time. We haven't had a labor movement in this country probably since the 1930s, and I just think it's gonna come around again. You know, women's labor has been important to this nation. You know, in World War II, a lot of Black women were able to get, you know, better jobs out of the domestic job situation. And the way women, you look at the way 47 came in and the way he did women, you know, it's going to be a blowback. This thing right here, this CBA thing is really important because it's either going to be a paradigm shift or we're going to stay, you know, in the same mode. That's how important I think it is that this deal get done right. And it's just going to be guns blazing. You know, women want wealth just like men. You know, they don't want to have to depend on men to create their wealth, or they don't want men deciding their value. You know, they want to be able to decide their value for themselves. And I think that's where we headed. That's why I call it gender, you know, more of a gender war than anything else. The money is there. You know, these, they know if, even if they gave up 40, 45, 50% of the revenue, it's still money to be made. But that's not what they want. Control more than they want money. It's more important to them to have control of these women and their league and the market of women's basketball, period. You know, and that's how they operate. They want to control markets. You know, I listen to 47, and that's all he talking about. He running down there to Venezuela, you know, shooting up some boats, talking about it's a drug war.
Hey man,
that's a market. That's a market.
He told y'all we hit. He told y'all we hit on the tariffs though. He got $2,000 checks coming, man. He was like, hey man, we hit on the tariffs. He's sending out 2 bands.
I mean, that ain't nothing. Let me tell y'all something. Tariffs are paid by us, the consumer, and okay, you're gonna give us a rebate, good, but don't act like you giving us something because you ain't really giving us nothing. You know, you can't even pay your bills, and you talking about you gonna give out a $2,000 check. That's all about the midterm elections. That ain't nothing but that's, you know, game again, because they always run a game. But
politics and everything, y'all.
It sure is.
Politics and everything.
You can't duck it, and you can't dodge it. But as far as white men are concerned, their number one thing since they emerged in the 1500s have always been to control markets. And so this sports is a market, and they want to control it, and they want to control it globally, and they want to control every single aspect of it, you know, and but you know, women are gonna fight that because they out here, you know, I ain't seen Silver run up and down nobody court. You know, he ain't huffing and puffing and
play high school basketball.
Probably.
I don't know if he play high school hoops.
I don't know either. So, you know, that's the whole thing. We just in a gender fight. I just hope and pray that enough women and men with enough sense, you know, stand behind these women and demand, because right now they got Kyrie Irving on board, they got Curry on board, you know, urging the league to go ahead and pay these ladies.
Yeah, but what's crazy is it was the NFL Players Association that came out and supported the WNBPA. I ain't seen the NBPA say nothing. What y'all?
Yeah, it's right. It's just been some, you know, that whole little thing.
I seen individual players, but I seen the NFL Player Association make a post in support of the WNBPA. So the NBPA, get your post together. Y'all, we gotta wrap this thing up because we headed to basketball, baby. We got South Carolina playing tonight. So we're gonna wrap this thing up. But for everybody listening, now's the time to get in the game. Y'all, hey, the players need our advocacy to make these changes stick. This ain't about sympathy. This is about solidarity. This is what we asking. Y'all stay informed, share verified information. Share verified information. Stay behind equitable pay and transparent negotiations. Stand behind that, y'all. Join the movement. Respect our game online. Find petitions, toolkits. When you post, tag it. Respect our game. Because the players might be the face of this movement, but we the fans we the foundation. That's the tea for tonight's conversation, y'all. We sip the tea and spill the truth. Lil, what you got before we get ready to get out of here?
Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. I got a couple of series coming out on sports and politics, and then I'm going to be talking about. I'm calling for. There's one other thing that's not in the call to action for this CBA, but I'm calling for reparations for the pioneers of this game in terms of medical and then royalties from the use of their NIL for decades without any type of compensation. So I'm going to be doing a mini series on that. It'll be coming out. I'll probably have that together in about another week.
Yep, and y'all be on the lookout. Political Lil is dropping her PoliSports BY's PoliSports channel. So we will be we want to make sure we supporting the BY's PoliSports channel. And PoliSports Tea Time, man. We pushing it out. We attacking the algorithm. So y'all help us help them. Y'all remember, sports never just about the games we play, but the stories we tell and the systems we expose. It's your favorite political duo, Political Lil Cess. Favorite Auntie with Uncle Tendencies. Y'all stay tuned. Talk soon.
Soon.
Yeah.